What's up, guys? I'm Namco, sitting here with Dustin with Fantasy Smack Talk, and we've gotten a lot of questions in our forums asking about handcuffs. So we wanted to do a quick video and really talk about what a handcuff is and when you should be using the handcuff strategy.
Alright, so obviously a handcuff is when you pick up the backup to one of your stud running backs, so you have them as a safety net on your bench in case your stud goes down. Now, when figuring out which guys you might want to handcuff, it should obviously be one of your first or second overall picks, and they need to be in one back of systems on whatever team they play on. You know, guys like Chris Johnson, Cedric Benson, Adrian Peterson, all these guys get a huge majority of the carries on their teams, and if they go down, more than likely their backup is also going to get a big majority of the carries.
Now, when determining when you should be using the strategy, we really like to take a look at the size of the league. In a 14 or 16 team league, we say absolutely do the handcuff strategy because the waiver wire is going to be so thin. If your stud goes down, you might be in a little bit of trouble. Now, in a 10 team standard league, we're saying you don't have to do this strategy. You really got to think about it. You're going to be taking this backup to really hopefully just sit on your bench so your stud stays healthy during the season. You're going to be passing on guys with upside later in the draft. In an ideal world, you're going to have your stud, a guy you draft late is going to either become trade bait or maybe even start alongside your stud.
And another thing to keep in consideration is don't get guys that are in a committee. When I say committees, I'm talking about guys that have fantasy value, two guys, and they're on the same team. I'm talking about like Carolina, the Cowboys, the Giants, just for an example. All three of those teams have two guys with fantasy value. One, if you do go try to get both of these guys, you're going to have to use two good draft picks to get them, which we don't think is a good idea. And then more than likely, each week they're both not going to have good weeks, so you're going to be guessing each week which one to start. It just turns into a huge mess. When you're talking about handcuffing, you're talking about one of your last round picks just for a safety net. We say stay away from owning two guys in a committee.
And one point about handcuffs, not committees, but handcuffs, is if you have a guy that's got a little bit of an injury history, you know, maybe a Cedric Benson, certainly Steven Jackson, that's another guy that you might want to target a little bit more to handcuff to.
So that's it for this show. We just wanted to give you some guidelines on when to handcuff. We are going to have a more detailed list of guys in a post that we'll have on our website. Should be up in the next week or so. I'm Dustin, this is Brent. Getting those games, getting those forms, just a couple weeks away.
iTunes, follow us on Twitter @FantasyAdvice.